championship last year. Now you'll see, you noticed in the starting lineups that a little bit of a change. Ryan Young in there for Mark Mitchell. That move made. John Shire wants to get a little more size in there and also wants to light a little bit of a fire under Mark Mitchell. Not happy with his performance against Arkansas.
Second start of the season for Young. Filipowski in the paint, put the shoulder down and scores.
Yeah, interesting matchup against the freshman Ndongo. I think you see him a little bit more inside. Ndongo's got the quickness and size to match him out on the perimeter, but not quite the strength to go inside against him.
Nate George on the handle. Cut off. Jumper. Ndongo.
Only his second attempt on the year and his first make.
How about that for the freshman from Senegal?
Yeah, Tom, that was not in the scouting report.
That might not have been one of those scripted plays that you want to run through at the beginning of the game.
I wonder what Damon Stoudemire, what was going through his mind when he rose up for that.
Strong drive, bounces off for Proctor, and then a fight for the loose ball. Held ball situation, and the arrow will favor Georgia Tech. And that is Proctor, who is down for Duke and in some discomfort on that baseline. He had the initial drive, Mike, and then the ball got tied up.
Well, and the thing you run into along there is there's camera people along there, and it's not a. He looked like he went into the stanchion as well, holding onto his ankle.
Sophomore from Sydney, Australia. I mean, there are people everywhere in this building this afternoon. McCamish Pavilion. Everybody wants a glimpse at the Yellow Jackets, who just had that huge win and now visiting Duke, number 7 in the nation.
And it's a big afternoon and evening in Atlanta with Georgia and Alabama playing for the SEC championship tonight.
So the medical staff checking on Tyrese Proctor, double-digit scorer this season.
Yeah, it's a big part of Duke's offense, running that high pick and roll right there. And I can't see if he stepped on somebody's foot landing right there. Which, you play this game long enough, and you wonder why that doesn't happen more often during the course of a game.
Yeah,
and, that's not a good sign when they send somebody else out there to help you walk off the floor. Hopefully that's just preventative and not trying to put any weight on it.
Awkward landing for Proctor after that drive. He had started every game so far this season. He was averaging close to 12 points per game, and we hope it's a good prognosis for him, although he is still down on the baseline. This is a team voted preseason best in the ACC, and good to see Proctor now sitting up on that baseline.
Trainer Jose Fonseca out there. With Proctor too, he's their best passer. Got good size at 6'5".
Had a career high 22 points earlier this season against Bucknell. Being helped back towards the Duke bench area, which is just to the right of our broadcast position here at McCamish Pavilion. So favoring the left lower leg.
We've got a freshman behind him, another 6'5" player, Caleb Foster.
So Coach Shire has to shuffle the deck a little bit here early on in our first half of play. Second game of our CW Courtside Saturday in the ACC. So glad that you're with us, and we hope you're with us all season long. The 102nd meeting between Georgia Tech and Duke. Last year it was a command performance by the Blue Devils on the road to win the most recent meeting. And Ndongo around the rim, and Young outleapt everyone.
That's again a reason why he's in there early in the season. Duke has had issues on the defensive glass.
This is Roach has to send it back out. Filipowski into the corner. That's a three that bounces off. So So McCain misfires. Here come the Yellow Jackets. This is Miles Kelly. It's a 3-ball.
And talked to John Shire last night at their shoot-around. He's the guy that said, hey, this guy, he's capable of a 30-point afternoon. You got to lock in on him. He hits an early 3. Does a lot for his confidence.
Over 19 points per game for Kelly. They dump it low to Young. Couldn't calculate the angle. Got it back, and this time it also bounces off. Yellow Jackets in transition.
2-point blank misses.
Another 3-ball.
And that turn, you get 2 easy layups that you miss, and it turns into 3 points at the other end of the floor.
Baye Reeves Jr. with a 3. His 6th of the season.
And this is a Georgia Tech team that had not been shooting the ball really well early on in the year.
Drop it low to Young. Prior to the bucket, he traveled with the basketball. Duke just 1 for 5 shooting in the early going in our first half for Coach Shire.
Well, and you look at it, in their first game of the year, they had 13 threes against Georgia Southern. Then they had a little bit of a drought, made 8 threes in their game against Mississippi State. 3 of 3 so far in this game, Tom.
That one bounces off with the first miss from long distance. Filipowski brings it up for Duke. They're 5-2 on the season. 0-1 away from Durham. Filipowski too strong. Georgia Tech made 8 threes on 27 tries in the win against number 21 Mississippi State on Tuesday. Here's another 3 from the corner, and it's Reeves Jr.
Early on, John Shire has seen enough. Georgia Tech has come out and punched Duke in the mouth. 12-0 run.
The 3-pointers fallen for the Yellow Jackets. 2 from Reeves Jr. Little bit of daylight, and it's money in the first half against the Blue Devils. Up by 10 for the Georgia Tech with an early 10-point lead against the visiting Duke Blue Devils. 4 of 5 from beyond the arc so far for Coach Stoudamire's team to jump out to that lead. Keep in mind, they shoot 30% as a team, 13th in the conference, Mike. Not today against the Blue Devils so far.
Well, and that's the thing, that you've got to, you come out, they're under 30%. You say, all right, make a couple, and we might change the scouting report. Well, now change the scouting report. You got to come out and contest that shot, make them put it on the floor.
2 of those threes from Baye Reeves Jr., who had made 5 in total prior to our game this afternoon. Filipowski kept it alive. McCain on the handle. Right in front of the Georgia Tech bench, and it's going to be a turnover from Roach.
Second travel call, and for the guys coming back to Georgia Tech, I mean, this is a team that played mostly zone principal last year. They're strictly a man-to-man team right now. They do a great job of helping one another. Second turnover by travel.
Heard Coach Stoudamire in the locker room telling his team, we need an A+ effort. So far, Mike, the test has been passed with the effort so far in this first half.
Right, and John Shire talked about the fact that his team has been getting off to slow starts, and that's been true to form here in the first 4 minutes.
High marks for the Yellow Jackets. Yeah. Tawana into the game, wears number 10 in white and old gold and blue. And off to Kelly. Down the lane against Filipowski. Held his ground.
If you hold your ground and go straight up in the air, you will not get a foul called.
Roach in a congested area. Driver to the basket, and a foul is called. Tawana picked up the foul for Georgia Tech.
Well, and Jeremy Roach in his last couple of games, 11 of 14 from the free throw line. So he's done a nice job of getting to the rim, drawing some fouls, and this is a good way to calm his team down, get to the line, slow the game down a little bit, eat into that lead somewhat.
73% on the season from the stripe for Jeremy Roach, the senior from Leesburg, Virginia. That view from right behind the rim.
It's such a rare sight these days to see a senior on the Duke team.
One of two. Fight for the rebound, won by Georgia Tech and Dawana. Duke as a team this year, Mike, 72% from the line. That's 9th in the ACC.
And this helps too that Filipowski got in early foul trouble against Arkansas, but against
backdoor Kelly dropped it off.
Nice interior play that time. Kelly's been doing a good job getting inside.
Sacco had the bucket for Georgia Tech. McCain, very difficult shot. Dawana clears it. Kelly stepping into the three. Came up short. Roach on a 3-on-2 break. McCain from the wing, slicing through two defenders. Had it blocked by Sacco. Right to Filipowski. Whistle stops play.
You know what? That early three by Kelly, maybe not the worst shot in the world based on how they've been shooting up to that point. But it does result in a break and free throws down the other end of the court. Yeah, you can just, and especially this team with a, new system, new coach, and things are going really well offensively. The defensive intensity really picks up.
So the officials have come over to the monitor, potentially to identify exactly who that foul was on. Filipowski standing at the free throw line. It's Ron Groover checking the monitor. So that's on Sacco. First on him. Filipowski's at the line.
Well, that's the thing too. You look at last year's team, and I don't really like to look back, but with Lively out on the floor, he took care of a lot of things in the interior, and that took a lot of pressure off of Filipowski to defend inside. And that's where he's got to be really careful this year as far as being a rim protector, especially early in the game.
TJ Power has come in for Duke, wears number 12.
He's a guy that could be an X factor for this team, especially on the offensive end of the floor. Really a terrific offensive player, great long-range shooter.
Near steal.
Let's see if that pilot light is lit for Mitchell.
Yeah, that was Mitchell who almost came up with that one. Shot clock's down to 5. A wide miss from Debo Coleman. Uncharacteristic. Foster brings it up.
And he has been all or nothing so far this year, Debo Coleman.
Mitchell to Filipowski, try to put it on the floor. And that can be Sacco again for his second.
Yep. Slowly blocked.
In relatively short order. So Claude comes into the game. Number 12 for Coach Stoudamire. Ndongo is in there as well, number 11 in white. Roach, the kick from the corner for 3, bounces off on the attempt by Caleb Foster. Duke shooting struggles continue in this first half. Trailing by 10. They're just 1 of 9 from the floor. Stoudamire, fantastic player who comes off the bench for the Yellow Jackets, and that pass intercepted. Mitchell 1-on-2. Coleman trying to get back. Knocked around by Kelly and out of bounds. And it will stay with the Blue Devils.
Well, and that's the one thing that Damon Stoudemire stressed to us, Tom, was that no live ball turnovers to Duke. And that was on the, and actually Georgia Tech, they got back, they got 2 guys back on Mitchell, stopped the break, made them set up in the half court.
If you're just joining us, Tyrese Proctor had to leave with what appeared to be a lower leg issue. And so Mitchell hits the shot.
And that's a huge shot, and the teams have been giving him all sorts of room on his jump shot, so that's going to be a big lift for his confidence.
Mitchell averages in double digits with 11 points per game. Foul is called. That'll be on Foster. First on him for the freshman from Harrisburg, North Carolina, Miles Kelly, coming out of the game for Georgia Tech. Carter Murphy, number 4, grad transfer from Air Force in the first year of the Georgia Tech program, playing in his 4th game now, coming in as a substitution. Kyle Stoudamire. Miss. Ndongo. Offensive glass. Second chance. Knocked around out of bounds. It'll stay with Georgia Tech. Good work from Claude. Couldn't come up with the points, but they maintained possession. Ty Claude.
Claude on the year, 12 offensive rebounds, 16 defensive rebounds. So this is a good team on the offensive glass. I stressed earlier that Duke has had issues there in their games this season.
Claude in the corner, guarded by Young. Georgia Tech is 3-2 on the season, 3-1 on their home floor. Bobby Kremen's court. It goes out of bounds. That'll be back to Duke. Georgia Tech coming off of that win Tuesday, Mike, right here against number 21 Mississippi State. First loss of the year for Mississippi State, 67-59 the final.
Yeah, a team that was ranked in the top 25. That was a really nice win in the ACC SEC Challenge.
Catch and release for 3, and Roach rattles it home for Duke.
First made 3 of the game for Duke. And this is the lineup that probably hasn't seen a lot of time together on the floor for Duke.
Duke connects on almost 8 threes per game. That is 6th in the ACC. Soft bounce and the bucket. Ndongo has it for Georgia Tech.
He's hit a 3, and I've watched some film of him, and he's got a pretty raw offensive game, but looked pretty skilled there.
He's got 5 points. Reeves has 6. This is Power firing away. Coleman pulled it down. Miscommunication. Foster taps it ahead. Mitchell treats everybody to the rim for the jam.
Well, it was kind of lagging behind the play, but good bounce, good defense tap from behind. Duke fortunate on that play.
So 4 points now for Mitchell coming off of that Duke bench.
But really the start that he needed in this game.
Driving strong to the basket and a whistle and foul. Ndongo earning himself some free throws. So it was Foster who tapped it up ahead to Mitchell. Eyes for the rim, and he slams it home on the CW.
Seismic shift over the last few years in the league. Mike Krzyzewski being replaced by John Shire, and Jim Boeheim up in Syracuse, and Roy Williams at Carolina. Now we got still Jim Larinaga kind of, right there, and Leonard Hamilton down at Florida State, probably the next to retire. Tony Bennett, the only one who's won a national championship.
Ndongo is at the free throw line, the freshman from Senegal. Had only 5 free throw attempts this season coming into the ball game. Got one of those, and he's up to 6 points.
Only his 3rd game of the year, missed the first few with injury.
John Shire in his first year took his team all the way to an ACC tournament championship in Greensboro, North Carolina. We're headed to Washington, D.C. this season. Mitchell comes up short. In fact, they beat Tony Bennett's Virginia team 59-49 in that final after beating Pitt and Miami on the way to the title game. Shot clock is down to 10, nearly midway through our first half. Shot clock to 5. Claude down low, and Ndongo off the glass.
Why, he is really blossoming. Good catch and finish inside. Nice patience offensively by Georgia Tech in that possession.
He's up to 8 points to lead the way in the first half. In fact, he leads all scorers. Big collision along that baseline. Filipowski picked it up after Blakes was driving on the baseline. Ndongo picked up the personal foul.
Watching Tech, I really like the way they share the basketball. You know, nice interior passing, and they have good movement on the perimeter guys as well. They got some good three-point looks early on.
That was a tough catch there by Ndongo. Filipowski at the free throw line for Duke. Plenty of student support in the building this afternoon. McCamish Pavilion.
I was talking about Georgia Tech's shooting issues coming into this game. Duke 4 of 16, 1 of 5, 3 of 6 now from the free throw line in the game.
And Duke is a good shooting team, Mike. 48% as a team to start the day. Third in the conference.
But you know what? They haven't gotten anything easy so far in this game. It's all been a grind in the half court.
Claude from the corner. Filipowski guarding him and taking it away.
Second block. He's done a nice job of taking the body and getting the block.
Off-season surgery on both hips. The mobility is there and the leaping ability. Just made the defensive play, and then Foster hits at the other end for the Blue Devils.
Nice job coming in, giving them good minutes with Tyrese Proctor being out.
Proctor had to leave. Awkward landing on his left ankle and had to come out of the game. Approaching the 9-minute mark, right down the lane, and Ndongo dropped it off. Claude finished it up.
Claude, one of those, he's a wide body guy, played at a mid-major program, Western Carolina. So far translating pretty well at this level.
Nice soft bounce for Caleb Foster. He's got 4. Now Claude is the senior from Goldsboro, North Carolina. First year in the Georgia Tech program. And as Mike mentioned, played at Western Carolina in the Southern Conference. That's knocked away to Filipowski. Foster on the hop and run down the lane, and he drops it in. Timeout, Damon Stoudemire and Georgia Tech. Blue Devils rolling and closing the gap on Georgia Tech in the first half. Back inside McCamish Pavilion with Pacific Life game summary. And recently it's a 15-7 run for Duke. Miles Kelly knocking down those early threes. It was a 12-2 run. They trailed 2-0 and reeled off the next 12 points. Knocking down the three-pointers, and then Proctor on the drive, and he came down awkwardly on that left ankle. And that is the Pacific Life game summary presented by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years.
Duke's had some other guys come in though, Tom, and pick it up, make some contributions. Blake's that time, nice rush up the floor. Foster's come in and made some big baskets. Mitchell, a nice spark off the bench, and good timeout that time by Damon Stoudemire. Stopped the run here. And for the first time over this last stretch, Duke has gotten some easy baskets in transition. They've made, right after I talked about their dismal start, 6 of 8 from the floor.
We are seated just within shouting distance of that
and
Duke bench.
I'm not quite doing my golf call, so
we'll save that for the summertime, Mike.
Yes. Well, you haven't asked me to join you out on the course yet. So,
along with the All-American from Duke, Mike Jaminski, I'm Tom Wormy. So glad that you are with us. Foul called on the play.
And Tom has seen my golf game, so there's good reason for that.
Blakes picks up his first for Duke. Trailing 21-18, our outstanding CW college basketball crew also with us here in Atlanta, Georgia. And this fantastic venue for college basketball. The McCamish Pavilion in its 11th season since the refurbishment from Alexander Memorial Coliseum, which opened up back in 1956. Steal. Blakes. One-on-one. Stoudamire. Blakes wins it.
Live ball turnover, especially out front. That was just a lazy pass, and then another one.
Mitchell strong to the glass. Ndongo got back there, and here comes Miles Kelly. He runs it up for Georgia Tech. Head of steam, dropped it off. Saved along that baseline momentarily by Claude. And that ball hit the end line as it was knocked out of Claude's hands and will stay with the Yellow Jackets.
Well, I tell you what, Baye Ndongo is just having a spectacular half. I mean, both ends of the floor saving that break. Offensively blossoming.
Yeah, he's tied his season high with the 8 points. The miss, and Filipowski has the rebound for Duke.
And they're basically doing all of the Georgia Tech is doing this basically without Miles Kelly. He's only, we haven't said his name much at all in this first half. He's only got 3 points.
That three was very early in the half for Miles Kelly. The lead is 1 after the 3-point attempt and miss from Mitchell. Last Duke lead was 2-0 right out of the gate here in Atlanta. Little follow away from Roach. Mitchell offensive glass and a reload. Stepping behind the line for 3.
That's it.
Jeremy Roach.
That's it. Those are the little things, Tom. That's the recycle. The offensive rebound by Mitchell. Kicks it out. So many times you get that good look on the offensive rebound from behind the 3 line.
They fought all the way back from trailing 12 too early. Off the glass and good at Ndongo.
See, now, maybe in a regular game early in the season, you give him that shot. In this game, I think you have to contest it now, even though the backboard got in the way.
Building on that season high with 10 points. Kelly got a piece of that one. Jackets on the run, all the way to the rim, and it was knocked away. Defensively getting back was Blake's.
What a block.
Near steal, Kelly trying to regather. He's got Roach on his hip. Feverish action.
That was a 6'2" guard, folks, who made that play.
Claude had it knocked away. Tries again. Filipowski got a piece of it.
Third block for Filipowski.
Roach from the other side for 3. In and out.
I'd say both teams are into the game right now.
Stoudamire drops it off Claude. Into the corner. And a 3. Reeves Jr. It was off the Claude fingertips right to Reeves Jr. And he pumps up a 3 ball.
Well, I was watching Reeves Jr. He is an incredible athlete. Watching him in warm-ups, showing he can shoot the 3 as well.
He's made 3 of them in the game. Blake's to the rim. Ty Claude pulled it down. Foul called in the process, and it's going against Duke.
That's against Mitchell, I believe.
It is the first on Mitchell. Here's the block.
Look at that. That's 6'2", folks. And that's an incredible. We've seen some incredible defensive stops on both ends of the floor.
Jalen Blake's the junior. Somerset, New Jersey. Seeing action in every game this season so far. And if he keeps doing that on the defensive end, he'll earn some playing time. Stoudamire directing traffic. Trying to work off that screen from Duwana. McCain picks up the foul. His first.
You see, when they're playing that high screen with Duwana, they're not even guarding him. Young stayed, he really slid with the driver that whole time with Stoudamire. Really didn't need to pick up that foul.
Stoudamire came off the bench against Mississippi State with 12 points in 12 minutes. And now he's in the box score as Power comes back in for Duke. A breather for Filipowski.
You see, John Shire, with Filipowski, the under 4-minute timeout is coming, and he's giving him rests about a minute before those breaks. Take him out, let him sit down now, and then get under the 4-minute timeout, and then let him finish out the half.
Stoudamire now 8 of 10 from the free throw line on the season. Georgia Tech in the midst of a 7-0 run after the free throws from Stoudamire. Working the perimeter with Roach. Blakes comes out of the corner. Kelly was ready. Shot clock is at 7. Roach just beyond the free throw line.
Well, not flustered at all with that shot clock, and I really like the length of Georgia Tech's defenders out on the perimeter. They do a nice job with helping in the driving lanes.
Long distance 3-ball. Miles Kelly.
Yeah, that was. Hey guys, I hadn't been a part of the offense in a while here. I need to take a shot.
Second 3 of the game for Kelly, who averages over 19 points per game in the top 10 of the ACC. Blakes misses. McCain runs it down to the corner. Comes strong out of that corner. Nice touch on the shot, McCain.
I really like his offense. He's had some struggles in some games. You almost wonder why he takes 2-pointers. He's 13 of 29 from 3 coming into this game, 5 of 19 from 2.
That was his first bucket of the game, averaging close to 8 per game for Duke. Shot clock's inside of 10 for Georgia Tech. The runner, Miles Kelly.
Yeah, he's looking to finish out the half strong.
8 points now for Miles Kelly. Had 22 against Mississippi State and made 4 3-pointers. Too strong out of the corner. Stoudamire. Miles Kelly also had 12 rebounds in the win against Mississippi State. Back to Duke. Roach. Cross it over. All the way to the rim. Highlight move from Roach.
No help in the back that time. And Duana is the guy who should be there. There was no backside help.
8 points now for Jeremy Roach. Had 22 in the loss at Arkansas. First ever trip to Arkansas for Duke, and they came away with a loss. We'll take a timeout. Georgia Tech has the lead, 33-29.
3 great programs and teams in Pittsburgh, Miami, and Virginia. For our team with one guy returning in Jeremy Roach from the year before, to see each of the different players that stepped up, I was just so proud. I was just really proud and happy for our team in that moment.
Cutting down the nets in Greensboro, North Carolina, the 22nd all-time ACC tournament championship for the Duke program. That's the most in ACC history. 14-6 in ACC play for Duke a season ago. They were 16-0 overall at home last year. Second round exit against Tennessee.
And it's nice to see, it's not an automatic one and done anymore. It's nice to see guys making that decision. The NIL money, I'm sure, plays a role in that. And John has, and Kyle has, other things. I'm sure that there's unfinished business. Guys whose last names end in SKI have done well in Durham, so I'm sure he hopes that plays well into it.
Number 43 for the G-Man, hanging in the rafters, Cameron Indoor Stadium. We're going to get there a couple of times this month, G-Man.
Yeah, looking forward to it as always. Special place for me.
Part of our double headers on the CW. CW courtside Saturday. Shot clock running out on Georgia Tech, and a miss from Kelly.
Nice job that time defensively by Mitchell, staying down on all the pump fakes.
Duke's made 3 of its last 5 shots. Filipowski the spin. Coleman knocked it away momentarily. Muscling his way and missing. Ndongo clears it up to Coleman.
Nice job by him staying down defensively.
George stepping into a 3. Roach pulls it down.
Ndongo has not played like a freshman defensively in this game so far.
Georgia Tech has missed its last 2 shots, but had been shooting 50% from the floor. Roach had it altered by Reeves Jr. Ndongo grabbed it. He's shaken up a little bit, trotting up the court. Seems to be okay for the moment. Here's Miles Kelly. 8 points in the first half for Kelly, leading scorer for Georgia Tech. Hesitation and drive. Miles Kelly to the glass. Double digits now for Kelly, G-Man. He's got 10.
And Ndongo with 10 points as well. Reeves with 9. Good balanced scoring.
Kelly's gone over 20 points scoring 3 times this season. Well on his way in the first half. Filipowski with the shot clock inside of 10. Got doubled. Got it back. Laid it up and in.
Good finish with the left hand. He's so good in there. He's got great balance and footwork for a big guy.
Game high 26 points in the loss at Arkansas. 23 in the second half after foul trouble in that first half.
So this is a nice defensive half for Georgia Tech. Duke sitting on 31.
Miles Kelly has the last 7 points. It's only about a second difference. Game and shot. Kelly trying to add to his own run of scoring. Missed it. And that'll do it in the first half. 35-31 the lead for Georgia Tech.
He's getting the ice strapped on. He came out in clutches. Filipowski only 4 field goal attempts now. 7. He's got seven rebounds, 3 blocks in that first half. So getting things done on the other.
Filipowski on the block, double team, take it away, Jackets.
Yeah, and they're going to come big on the double team with him from the weak side. And that time didn't have good balance.
Georgia Tech shot 46% as a team in that first half, above their season average of 39%, which was at the bottom of the conference in the ACC. And it's Reeves Jr. with a 3-ball.
And this is how the first half started, with Georgia Tech lighting it up from 3. Reeves coming into the game a 29% shooter from 3.
He's made 4 of them in the game. Had made 5 all season prior to today. Shot clock's at 10. Roach needs a safety valve. Filipowski late in the clock. Turnaround 3. Bounces off Young. Able to bat it around. Foster past his defender into the teeth of the defense, and a foul against the Yellow Jackets.
And he really got bailed out with a foul that time. Had no chance to make that shot. And you know, going into this game and looking at that matchup, Ndongo against Filipowski, I said, man, this is really going to be in Duke's favor. So far, Ndongo is clearly winning this matchup.
Foster's at the free throw line. 56% of the season from the line. First-year head coach Damon Stoudemire. That student section trying to disrupt the concentration of the Blue Devils at the free throw line. 1 of 2, Foster.
Let's see, and Duke in games at times has really pushed the pressure up the floor. Let's see if they do this in the second half.
Kelly flips it into the corner. Hand off from Dewana. Miles Kelly, shot clock at 8. Bounces out of bounds and will stay with Georgia Tech.
With Dewana, they can really play 5-on-4 defensively. They can let him wander, not concentrate on him too much. Kelly can kind of play. Young can kind of play center field a little bit.
Kelly down low, and Ndongo lays it in with 2 seconds on the shot clock, and he was fouled.
Talking about a guy maturing right before our eyes, and he just, I mean, he's not going to be a pick and pop guy, just rolling to the basket. Great catch, great finish.
12 points in the game and the chance at the old school 3-point play. 6'9" freshman now.
Really, you look at his form at the free throw line, you got to think that percentage as he gets there more often is going to go up.
Had only attempted 5 free throws. Young Bang it inside. The help came from Ndongo, and it goes out of bounds and will stay with Duke. Ndongo all over the court, Mike.
And let's keep an eye on him. He played 15 minutes in that first half. Let's see if fatigue starts to catch up with him.
Filipowski, wide open three off the mark.
And that shot has not been there for him.
Inside the alley-oop. Dawana with the slam. Young, fake end basket. This game being played at a breakneck pace between Georgia Tech and Duke. Inside. And Ndongo again. Mikey's got 15 points in the ball game, and he leads everybody with those 15. Roach in trouble.
You know, you look at the numbers, Tom, and Miles Kelly had come in. He was taking 35% of Georgia Tech shots. It's other people who are beating Duke in this game. Other people are getting involved in the offense.
McCain in the paint. Came up short. Young grabs it. Roach steps into the three straight away. Got fouled on the three-point attempt. And the challenge from Nate George.
There's the look, and you get the high screen. And he's just going to look. He, like I said, he's just going to pick and roll straight to the basket. Those are just two great finishes going to the rim.
Two great feeds from Nate George as well, Mike.
And I thought he had coming into this game had made some risky. He had 1 assist, 6 turnovers in his early action. But so far in this game, making better decisions with the ball. And Damon Stoudemire said that the team loves playing with him at the point. He's going to live with his freshman mistakes. But how do you grow? You don't grow in practice. You grow out on the floor in a game like this.
One more free throw for Roach, who's up to 13 points. That's the 5th time this season he's hit double digits. You see Coleman coming in for Georgia Tech. Ndongo comes out. Young comes out for Duke as well. Roach is one of the tri-captains for the Blue Devils. Second time he's had that honor. Got them all from the free throw line. 54th time in his Duke career to get to double digits in scoring. Up to 14 now for Roach. George dribbled into trouble. Kelly bails him out.
Well, who would have thought coming into this game that Ndongo being out is a break for Duke?
Mitchell just picked up his 2nd personal foul. Ndongo with 15 points sitting on that Georgia Tech bench. Shattered his season high of 8. Got that done early on in the first half with his hard work. Getting a breather now, Miles Kelly.
He's got that under 16 timeout coming. Let's see how long Coach Stoudamire has him on the bench before he gets him back in.
Nate George on the dribble deep into the shot clock.
Touch foul by Mitchell.
That's number 3, Mike. A couple of quick ones on Mark Mitchell, sophomore from Kansas City, Kansas.
And he can guard that position, but you've got to have a little clock awareness.
Dawana, the transfer from NC State, first year of the Georgia Tech program. Number 10 in white. This is Kelly. Reeves Jr. kept it alive for the reset. George looking over at Damon Stoudemire. Played in the Final Four as a player at Arizona. Shot clock is down to 6. Intercepted pass, Roach. Tried to get it up ahead. Ball was deflected. McCain now on the drive. Pass to Wana. Lays it in with the left hand.
Nice take. Had a good angle inside. Good strong take. It's a little different when it's just one of those guys out on the floor as a rim protector instead of both of them.
Filipowski gets a piece of that.
His fourth block.
McCain stops at the three-point line. Reeves Jr. high for the board. Into the corner, Coleman. Out of the corner, Coleman. Reeves Jr. hits the jumper.
Well, you know, we haven't given him enough love in this game. Quietly, 14 points for him. Has only missed one shot from the floor.
Kowacie Reeves from Macon, Georgia, the junior.
Big pickup in the portal.
McCain underneath. Springing free for another 2 for McCain. 6-point game.
He's done some good work inside. Really a solidly built guard. John Shire leaving Mitchell in there with the 3 fouls.
Shot clock at 7 for Miles Kelly. Stepping around Roach, flips it back out George. This is a 3-pointer off the line.
Yeah, you live with that shot. Although I don't know, you might throw the scouting report out the window in this game with Georgia Tech.
And Nate George shooting just 33% from beyond the arc this season.
See that, you know, and look at with Mitchell, whenever he has the ball, there's nobody within sight of him.
Mitchell drives against Reeves, trying to get it back for a second effort against Owana, and he got fouled.
And that's what he's got to do in that situation. Make up the distance, get to the rim.
Owana picks up his 3rd. Mitchell at the free throw line when we come.
Shot 4 of 4 from 3, 14 points for him. And Ndongo, 15 points, 6 of 8 from the floor. He's hit a 3 in this game. Has been rebounding, blocking shots. Terrific game for him as well. And, you know, Reeves, the transfer from Florida. Ndongo, the originally committed to Rutgers. And then when Stoudamire got the job, came down here.
So those 2 players supplying the offensive effort, along with the 3-point shooting for Georgia Tech as well.
Just again, second half minutes. Ndongo, 15 minutes in that first half. Only his 3rd game back. A very emotionally highly charged game like this. Keep an eye on him in these last 13 minutes. See where Damon Stoudemire can buy him a rest here and there.
Mitchell at the free throw line.
I'm not talking about a rest. He's young. He's a freshman.
Coleman got the basketball on the miss by Mitchell from the free throw line. So Reeves is up to 14 points. Ndongo has 15. That's a season high. 5-point game.
I have a feeling he's going to be blowing up that season high a few times.
He's got the basketball right now. Shot clock is at 8. Stoudamire to the corner. That's too strong on the 3-point attempt from Claude.
Now that possession kind of went nowhere right from the start. And 1 second, about enough time for a tap. And this is where you got to keep a body on the big guys.
Off the inbounds, Ndongo tried to make the play. The ball never hit the rim.
See,
it's a shot clock violation.
That's where I'd like to see a rule change for either team, because if the team gets a possession, that takes a rush up the floor away from the defense on that. The defensive team clearly has possession, and it takes a play away from them. It takes a good defensive possession away.
This is Roach in traffic. Filipowski.
I tell you what, Georgia Tech has done a great job on Filipowski.
Pass behind McCain from Foster out of bounds and back to Georgia Tech. Next week, CW Courtside Saturday returns, an exciting doubleheader. First, we head to Blacksburg as Virginia Tech hosts Valpo, and then it's off to Cameron Indoor Stadium as number 7 Duke welcomes Charlotte to Durham. CW Courtside Saturday continues next week at 12 Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, only on the CW.
It's interesting. John Shire trying giving Sean Stewart some minutes out on the floor with Mitchell with the 3 fouls.
Entry pass, Filipowski around his defender, and it stays down.
He's going to put Stewart on Ndongo. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Stewart can guard at 5 positions. They got a switch now.
Stoudamire fancy dribble and hits the jumper.
Filipowski a little late getting out on that. Stoudamire is a better offensive player than George is. Certainly a better shooter.
Great production off the bench from Stoudamire, who averages over 20 minutes coming off of that bench. Duke and Georgia Tech on the CW. We got
Kyle Filipowski last year, a great run through the tournament for Duke. John Shire's first year.
Zion's team went all the way to the championship in Charlotte in 2019.
But they need him to get going in this game for sure. Only 2 points in the second half so far.
McCain for 3, too strong. And the struggles continue from beyond the arc for Duke. They are now 2 of 14 on 3-point tries. Coleman driving, Coleman scoring, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Only his second shot of the game and first made basket.
Second foul on Roach.
And you look at his scoring this season so far, Tom. 17, 7, 24, 0, and 6. And for Coleman, for Damon Stoudemire, if he can be a consistent, like 12-point scorer every single game, that would really help the squad.
Now remember, Filipowski against Arkansas on the loss on Wednesday had 23 second half points and 26 in total.
But look for the game plan. They're going to come and double him big, especially when he's down low. And so far in this game, the perimeter shot has not been there for Kyle Filipowski.
Good hustle all around, but it's Georgia Tech basketball. Sean Stewart diving for that one.
Five ball turnovers that have turned into points.
Doubleheader once again coming up next Saturday on the CW. Courtside Saturday. And we'll feature these Duke Blue Devils at home. Shot clock's at 10 for Georgia Tech. That one's knocked out of bounds. Stoudamire had it knocked away by Filipowski.
Yeah, nice active hands by Filipowski after Stoudamire had picked up his dribble. 8 seconds on the shot clock.
Decorated NBA career as well for Damon Stoudemire. He watches Debo Coleman lose it on the way up. Here comes Duke off of the turnover. McCain driving. They got back defensively. And Ndongo. Stoudamire at the other end.
Foul. What a play. And he's Ndongo a little slow getting up. He was calling somebody over. He was asking for the referee to help him up.
It's Ron Groover helping up Ndongo.
Look at this save. What a great play in transition. And and sometimes, Tom, and again, I'm not when you're a freshman and you get hurt, you don't realize, you don't know how badly it's hurt. Sometimes it's not much, but you think it's worse than it is, and hopefully it's not. Especially the game that he's having. You don't want any kind of injury to be bad in any situation. He's trying to put some weight on it right now. We talked about earlier, Proctor he couldn't put any weight on his injury.
There's Proctor with the ice on that left ankle. That was early in the first half. Awkward landing on that left ankle. Now Ndongo, who was favoring that left leg, leaving the court, getting some medical attention.
Yeah, he chased down that, made the block, but then landed a little awkwardly coming down.
So Baye Ndongo at the Georgia Tech bench, and now Stoudamire at the free throw line. Senior from Norcross, Georgia. Transfer from Southern Cal. Tuesday on Inside the NFL, the guys take a look back at the battle for the NFC supremacy as the 49ers take on the Eagles. Plus, can the Broncos stay hot against the Texans inside the NFL? Tuesday, 8/7 Central on the CW.
The Eagles have looked pretty good this year.
Check out Inside the NFL on the CW. There's a big game up the road in Charlotte tonight. ACC football championship game. Florida State trying to stay undefeated, taking on the Louisville Cardinals. First time in that game for them. Mitchell dropping the hammer.
That's exactly what he needs to do. If you're going to play off, take a few dribbles, get into the rim, finish.
7 points for Mitchell. That puts a thunderous end to the 7-0 run by Georgia Tech. Stoudamire put on the brakes. Kelly's open for three. Both sides of the rim, and here comes Roach.
Let's see how the three-point shooting does in the last 10 minutes of this game.
Roach driving up and under, deflected away, taken back by Georgia Tech. Stoudamire threads the pass, and the jam. Ty Claude, the rim bender.
And that's what power gives you. It'd be interesting to see as this season goes along and how his he's going to be a situational player, but that's what he brings to the floor.
TJ Power, the freshman out of Worcester Academy in Massachusetts, the miss by Stoudamire. And then it goes out of bounds. Looked like Claude was trying to save it and couldn't do it. Freshman from Shrewsbury, Massachusetts.
Where was that time?
Worcester Academy.
There you go.
Worcester, Massachusetts. Trying to get his team back in this game.
Right in your old neighborhood.
They have not led since the first half. Mike, they were up 23-21 after trailing 12-2 right out of the gate to Georgia Tech on its home court. Mitchell has to send it back out. How about Duke has won 16 of the last 17 meetings between the teams, Mike, including a lopsided victory last year here in Atlanta. That's Roach in close.
Well, with both Duana and Ndongo out, there's no real shot blocker in the middle out there, so an opportunity for Duke to go inside.
Roach has 16, knocked away. Foster towards the rim, and he lays it in.
Damon Stoudemire wants the timeout.
Foster cutting the lead to 3, and he's got 9 after the drive. It's getting tight in Atlanta. Courtside Saturday on the CW. Just a week ago, and a win against Wake Forest for the Orange to become bowl eligible. 11 teams bowl eligible from the ACC. Here we go. John Shire's team, Mike, on a 7-0 run. It's a 3-point game.
And very quickly, Tom, the points off turnovers has become an issue for the positive factor for Duke. 15-0 in that category.
Duke only has 4 turnovers in the game.
It's good to see Ndongo back out on the floor. Both he and Duana back out on the floor. So they got their interior defense back out on the court.
Georgia Tech with the basketball.
interesting
Kelly to
lineup.
inbounds.
Yeah, John Shire's going to stick with power out there, along with Mitchell out there with the 3 fouls.
Just 2 of 15 from three-point distance since the early hot start, which built a 12-2 lead at the beginning of this game. We're going inside of 8 minutes to go in the second half. They're trying to flip it inside. Tough catch. Dowana's pass intercepted Roach.
A live ball turnover, but it really didn't hurt them. They were able to get back in transition.
16 points for Roach, leads the way for Duke. Power. Foster backs it out.
And they know to get to him defensively up behind the three-point line.
Foster fall away in the paint, grazes the front rim, run down by Miles Kelly.
He got himself in trouble picking up the dribble in the paint.
Three Jackets in double figures in scoring.
Yeah, you got to switch there on Dwana, but not any trouble because that far away, a big on a small.
Shot clock down to 3. Out of the corner with a monster jam, and Ndongo.
I guess his leg, and now he came up gimpy on that play.
So he'll walk over to the Georgia Tech bench after the fake, the drive, and the jam from Back in Atlanta, McCamish Pavilion. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary presented by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years. This was early in the game. Tyrese Proctor, awkward landing on that left ankle, had to leave the game, could not come back, came out in crutches for the second half. Ndongo's a season high 17 points, just had a thunderous jam. And what a game he has played at both ends of the floor. Georgia Tech, the turnover situation, they've had 10 turnovers leading to 15 points for Duke. And right now the lead is 5 for Georgia Tech. They have led the vast majority of this game. A drive there from Foster, who's got 9 points. Roach leads the way with 16 for Duke. 3 players, led by Ndongo with 17 in double digits for Georgia Tech. Roach and Duke have the basketball, Mike Kaminsky.
And this shows you again the confidence that Damon Stoudemire has in Nate George, the freshman, having him out there instead of Stoudamire.
Roach on the drive and 2.
Just really a solid player. Good right-hand finish.
Mike, 18 points for Jeremy Roach after scoring 22 in the loss at Arkansas.
Yeah, and he's had to pick up the scoring. Filipowski is well under his average.
George. Big bucket from Nate George. First of the night for him as well. Freshman from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, has given Georgia Tech a 5-point lead inside of 6 minutes to go in regulation. Foster for 3 in front of his own bench. It's a 2-point game.
And that was a nice find, though, by Filipowski. Pulled up, really didn't have anything in the lane.
Claude tipped it to Dawana. Keep in mind last season, 86-43 was the win for Duke on this floor. Miles Kelly misses. Dawana the offensive board. Trying to back it down on Filipowski. George, who just scored his first 2 points of the game moments ago with the shot clock at 7. He'll fire up a 3. Dawana over the top.
I think they're going to call that on Roach.
Third on Roach.
See, that time he got caught on the switch on Dawana, but where he got caught in the problem is that they took the shot and he got called in the foul on the block out.
Young is coming in for Duke. Filipowski coming out. Just 8 points, Mike, for Filipowski on 3 of 8 shooting. He's missed all 3 of his 3-point attempts.
And no foul trouble for him. They didn't have a foul in the game.
Claw to the corner, Reeves Jr. Big rebound from TJ Power. Foster walks it up. Just hit that 3 moments ago, making it a 2-point game. Timeout. Timeout, Duke. 4:45 to go in regulation, and John Shire wants a timeout.
This is, again, the road game Wednesday, a late road game at Arkansas. Fatigue a factor, a second road game. Filipowski coming in. Timeout now. You got a timeout coming under the 4-minute mark, so a good rest timeout right here.
Next week, CW Courtside Saturday returns with an exciting doubleheader. First, we head to Blacksburg as Virginia Tech hosts Valpo, and then it's off to Cameron Indoor Stadium. Number 7, Duke welcomes Charlotte to Durham. CW Courtside Saturday continues next week, 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific, only on the CW.
There'll be some shifting around in the top 25. Purdue went down.
Northwestern in overtime beat them.
Chris Collins has done a terrific job up at Northwestern.
UConn lost to Kansas as well. Yep. All you got to do, Mike, is follow that giant basketball to all the sites where we go this season on Courtside Saturday on the CW. Follow the bouncing basketball. What an afternoon this has been in Atlanta. Tom Wormy, Mike Jaminski, our outstanding CW Courtside Saturday production crew with you from McCamish Pavilion, Atlanta, Georgia. Last year, Duke won 86-43. Lopsided win. Not this afternoon. Foster, guarded by Reeves. Foul on the play. First on Reeves. So 5 team fouls on Georgia Tech. 6 for Duke.
Yeah, for the most part, this game has not been played at the free throw line. I mean, Duke is supposed to be the 14 from 15 free throw of the game for them. And they have left some points there, 8 of 14 now.
Foster at the free throw line.
Damon Stoudemire going a little offense for defense, getting Coleman back in for Claude. Empty possession, but saved by Filipowski, tapping that one back out.
$18 points for Roach. Leads the way. Trying to work off the Filipowski screen. Battle for the loose ball. Filipowski. He hit the deck. Got the offensive board. And went to the floor. First on Coleman, sends Filipowski to the free throw line. Ndongo, you saw him on the bench there for Georgia Tech, had to leave momentarily.
Caleb Foster has responded with some pretty good minutes. He's had to step in and play for Proctor with the injuries, got 12 points. I think that might have been, after that monster dunk that Ndongo had, it might have been a cramp. We talked about the heavy minutes in this game. It can happen to a freshman. Not a lot of fluids.
And also hit the stanchion awkwardly earlier in the half as well, and had to head over to the Georgia Tech bench for a rest. It appears that he might be ready to pop back into this ball game. Filipowski at the free throw line can tie our game. 4:15 to go in regulation. 60-60. Georgia Tech and Duke.
Let's see if we haven't heard from Miles Kelly in a little bit. Let's see if he starts to be a presence in the last 4 minutes.
Just the second tie of our game. Coleman out of the corner with the jumper for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, that's even offense for defense. We talked about a good substitution by Damon Stoudemire.
5 points for Coleman after that jumper. Roach got tangled up with George and a foul called on George. We'll step aside for a moment.
Got to manage both ways, and that's what people forget.
And that's a coach who talks from experience. Played for Arizona in the Final Four. Mike, decorated NBA career, Rookie of the Year. Spent 5 years at the University of the Pacific as their head coach. And here he is. How about this? Your first ACC game on the sideline. You're playing Duke, and it's a 2-point game late.
And, you know, it's interesting, too, that for most of his life was a West Coast guy. and now finds himself in the Atlantic Coast Conference. And, we talked about it. He told us, hey, everything I've heard about the Atlantic Coast was what brought him to Georgia Tech, although names don't mean anything anymore. We're all over the board.
The footprint expanding in the ACC. One more free throw for Roach could tie us up. ACC is going out west with Cal and Stanford. SMU also next season in the ACC. Duke is the defending champs from the tournament a season ago. And Roach has tied our game at 62. How about 20 points? Jeremy Roach. Second straight game with 20 or more for Roach. Knocked away. Was deflected by power.
At the end of the Mississippi State game, Damon Stoudemire went with both Stoudamire and George out there. I'm going to be wondering if he comes back with Stoudamire as a ball handler. Just a lot of turnover, a lot of sloppy play for Georgia Tech in the last few minutes.
And that game against Mississippi State, which was ranked 21st in the nation, was a win for Georgia Tech. This is Mitchell, knocked away, Ndongo defensively.
He has been everywhere. That was a terrific find inside by Filipowski.
Reeves dropped it low, couldn't connect. And then Ndongo is...
No, we got it overturned. Initially called on the baseline for Georgia Tech, but overturned, and we're not under 2 minutes, so it can't be looked at.
Duke basketball tied at 62. What a way to start. CW courtside Saturday. Second game of our doubleheader has gone right down to the wire. Duke and Georgia Tech. First of 2 meetings this year. Filipowski dropped it off. This time to Mitchell. Foul on the jam.
Well, maybe Coach Shire lit that pilot light. Not starting Mark Mitchell. We talked at the Open about Filipowski becoming a passer, and he has made some terrific deliveries in this game.
Mitchell at the free throw line. 1 of 2 from the stripe in the game. Filipowski volleyballs it out to Mitchell. Roach wants the basketball.
It's the second time Duke has been not good at the free throw line, but they've gotten bailed out twice by tap outs.
Duke ahead for the first time since it's led 23-21 in the first half. Roach elevating, dropping it off to Mitchell for the slam from Roach.
Oh, and he's getting a technical foul for taunting.
Reaction from Dansby Swanson in the crowd.
Yeah, and that's a I can't argue with the call. Watch the play here. I can't argue with that call. And you know what? You're happy about the way you're playing, but you gave back one of the points.
Technical foul on Mark Mitchell. Kelly's at the free throw line.
And you just negated what you did down the other end of the floor.
So the lead for Duke is now 2 after the Kelly free throws on the technical against Mitchell after the jam. Some afters from Mitchell. And that'll cost him a couple of free throws. And it is Georgia Tech basketball.
And it's 4th personal foul.
George has it for Georgia Tech. Approaching the 2-minute threshold of regulation. Coleman. Kelly, the drive. Soft bounce and score, Miles Kelly.
If anything, you got to make him go left. But a great soft finish.
Tied at 66. Third tie of the game. Roach driving, drops it off. Filipowski hangs and scores. Absorbed the contact.
That's what Greg, it's a shot blocker. Took the body and then made the finish.
12 points for Filipowski. 2-point game. Alley-oop finish. Ndongo ties it at 68. And a timeout taken. Damon Stoudemire at Georgia Tech.
Well, I'd seen Nate George make some really suspect lob passes coming into this game, but that was right on point. I mean, this is just great. A little brush screen, got a little back screen from Coleman. Great catch and finish. I mean, that's they're not playing like freshmen right now.
Here's the reset, tied at 68. 2 timeouts for Duke, 1 for Georgia Tech. Both teams in the bonus at the moment. Ndongo, what an afternoon, Mike. 10 points in the first half, 9 in the second half.
Nate George, 8 assists.
Look at Coach Stoudamire. He needs some liquid refreshment. It's taking a lot out of him this afternoon. And this is game 1 in the ACC on the schedule. After Duke won this game between the teams here on this court a season ago handily, 86-43. And has dominated the series. They've won 16 of the last 17. Georgia Tech's last win, March of 2021. They won here at home in overtime against Duke, 81-77. 1 minute remaining. Shot clock at 10. Mitchell lost the handle. That ball gets tied up on the court. And the arrow favors Georgia Tech.
Mitchell trying to do too much off the bounce that time. They were actually giving him more respect playing up near him.
Tied at 68.
23 seconds between shot and game clock, so you just have to play solid defense if you're Duke.
Nate George. Alley-oop. And Ndongo jams it. Oh, baby! And Ndongo gives Georgia Tech a 2-point lead. Roach hops into the paint. Trying to feed it to Mitchell. Off of his fingertips. Georgia Tech basketball.
Pick and roll. Just unbelievable play by Georgia Tech.
He's got 21 points, Mike.
Unbelievable.
21 for number 11, Baye Ndongo.
How about those 2 freshmen?
4 turnovers in the half for Duke. They only had 2 in the first half. Georgia Tech and Miles Kelly has the ball. There's only a couple of second difference between game and shot, and they fouled George. Roach comes out and fouls him, his 4th.
Okay, George has not been to the line in this game. It's only 3 of 5 on the year. But throw out all that. 22 seconds left. You have a 2-point lead.
As a team, Georgia Tech from the free throw line, 9 of 10 in the game, Mike.
Yep. 1-1.
And they entered the game as the worst free throw shooting team in the league. Miss from George. Timeout, Duke. 18.2 seconds to go. So now Duke and Georgia Tech each have one timeout. So here's the most recent sequence. Filipowski, great pass to Mitchell. And then Roach got it to Mitchell. Now watch after the play.
Does that taunting technical loom large? Giving away 2 points, and it's a 2-point ball game right now. And then the pick and roll has been fabulous for Georgia Tech.
George and Ndongo have combined on several occasions tonight. And that one putting the Jackets up by 2, 70-68. It was a 4-point halftime lead for Georgia Tech. Each team has a timeout. Each team in the bonus. The possession arrow favors Duke.
I think right now, despite the shot blocking, you try to get something quick hitting going at the rim. Or we can just look at the play being drawn up.
And you notice the Coach K logo is still on that eraser board. Doubleheader continues next week. CW courtside Saturday. We hope to match the excitement and intensity of this game all season long on the CW. We thank you for joining us for our first Saturday in the ACC and the first on the CW courtside Saturday. What a game it has been. Remember, Mike, Duke took the lead with 2:21 to go, 66-62. Georgia Tech on an 8-2 run since. 4 points from Kelly and Ndongo. Duke with the basketball. In the final 15 seconds, trailing by 2. Roach looking for some help. Wants a timeout and gets it. 5.7 on the game clock.
Yeah, well defended. Kelly got the switch and did just he got a big defender on Roach. He had nowhere to go inside. Well defended by Georgia Tech.
So Duke just used its last timeout with 5.7 seconds to go in regulation. Blue Devils have owned this series.
Now, me personally, I have been of the opinion on the road, go for the 3-point shot and the win. Now let's see how, let's see with Power in there, and it looks like they just put McCain into the game. Let's see what Duke dials up here.
So they're 4 of 16 from 3-point distance in the game. Roach has made 2 of those. So they added 0.2 of a second to the clock. 5.9 seconds to go in regulation. I mean, heart-pounding excitement inside McCamish Pavilion. Duke has the basketball. Georgia Tech has the lead.
But unfortunately, they're inbounding from a really tough place to get that done.
Foster on the inbounds. Roach driving, tough shot, swallowed up defensively. Kelly had the ball. Filipowski sent them to the floor. There's only 0.3 seconds to go, Mike. Duke never got the shot away.
No, and they were not looking for the 3 either. They were looking for something inside in the tie.
Georgia Tech won here in 2021 in OT. 0.3 seconds away from victory. Kelly on the free throw line. Puts them up by 3.
And you miss, so what? And this was all done. Miles Kelly having not his best, not his A game this afternoon.
16 points for Kelly.
Game over.
4-point game. Nothing Duke can do. Georgia Tech wins it over number 7 Duke, 72-66.
68. What a